My name's Leon Rainbow. I'm a graffiti artist, muralist, teacher, and I got into art by, getting inspired from watching graffiti movies and stuff when I was a kid, and from that point forward, I just wanted to do art.
My name is Mike Ciccotello. I'm a 3D real-time graphics animator for television. I got into art when I was a child. I started doing murals when I was in high school. I've been doing it for about 15 years now.
My name is Will Kasso. I'm an artist, muralist, graffiti artist. I've been into art all my life. I first started noticing graph when I was about 7 years old, and that's always been my very first influence, along with comics and stuff like that. But graph was my first influence, and that kind of got me to all other forms of art, off the strength of just noticing graffiti at a young age. I would say my main inspiration is my daughter. Before I had her, I never took art that serious. It was just always something to do. I never thought I could make a career out of it. But after she came along, it was more like, okay, am I going to take it seriously or just do something that I hate? So that was the catalyst right there, and that just kind of fueled it, constant progression. And then as far as me finding other avenues of inspiration, it's just life.
I try to find different things in life and, different colors and different ideas and try to give them my own little twist. And that's how I keep, being inspired.
I think that inspiration comes from things that you see every day. So somebody once told me that you should paint what you know, paint what you see. Things that you're exposed to every day. So usually my inspiration comes from my daily commute into the city. The scenes that I might see on the train, telephone poles are a big part of my work because of connections that they have from town to town, person to person. So I feel that the wires are symbolic of connections that we have with people.
Even if we going back to the beginning, when I was out tagging, bombing, I was never prolific at it, but just the obstacles you face just to get that up, most of that was done in the middle of the night, So then once I started doing more public type murals, a lot of the walls we did in the past weren't financed, so they were like, okay, let's just get a bunch of guys together, come up with a theme. And normally a lot of our themes tend to be a little bit more edgy. For example, I remember it was about 4 years ago, we did a voodoo theme wall. And I painted this 15-foot high lady holding a rattlesnake. And this one lady told me I was gonna go to hell for painting witchcraft and all this and that. And just the stigmas that's still attached to graffiti, just the ignorance that's still around it.
I guess the main obstacle is funding and the preconceptions that people have. A lot of the stuff that we do, especially in the beginning, it was always self-funded. We go out, talk to different business owners and get permission to paint their walls, and but now as things progress, we have bills to pay just like everybody else, and being able to get funding and really do the type of murals that we want to do, and have that artistic integrity, that's really one of the biggest issues that we have.
So the stigma that's attached to the name graffiti, it's break the stigmas, break the stereotypes, show them that we're not all just a bunch of little kids running around, scribbling aimlessly on property. It's we're a valuable asset to the community. So my whole thing is just breaking the stereotype of what a graffiti artist is.
Freestyle is a way, it's definitely a way of painting for me, because when I go into a mural, I'll have an initial idea, but I have it from the point where I start to where it finishes, it looks nothing like where I started. I'll just fill color and then go. And freestyle to me is just going. Go with the flow, follow your inner voice to figure out what shapes are going to connect to what idea is going to connect to the next.
Oh, freestyle, that's one of my favorite words. I love just the whole thing is free. It's without boundaries, and style is just what the things that make your style what it is. The way that you do a line or the way that your colors flow, it's putting all these elements that you could feel into one motion, you know, and into one canvas. It's almost like jazz. Like what I like to do is I have a visual like library stored in my head, like these little bubbles, I'm gonna put those in. These are like, I have all these little pieces of different style elements, and then I like to pull from that library. And although like in the piece that I just did, I have those two hands, and that was the only concept that I had. And then I put all these other little pieces to make the piece complete. And that's what freestyle is to me.
To me, freestyle means improvise. A lot of the walls I do we have like a loose theme, but we go to the wall with no previous outlines. We may have a few photo references if we're doing something like realistic or whatever, but it just means improvisation, like jazz, just flow with it. Whatever comes out, you know, no set plan. It keeps it fresh, you know, keeps it fun. If I knew how a wall was gonna look before I finish it, then it's not fun for me. You know, it has to be fun, it has to be engaging. You know, you have to, you know, keep pushing it, you know. Don't go to a wall, okay, I'm gonna do this, you do that, you do that. Okay, whatever you do, let's work it in and come up with something fresh and original. Yeah, just improvising.
These brushes are like nothing I've used before. Being a muralist, when I was starting in high school and then working throughout college on walls that, you know, you never know what you're gonna wind up with when you paint a mural. The wall could be falling apart, it could be a nice drywall that's been, you know, painted. So it goes from a complete range of smooth to grit and crumbly at points. So these brushes are important to me because they're durable. They have the fine art quality that you look for in a brush when you're painting on a wall. And it holds the color, it stands up to the wall, and that, to me, that's really important. They feel great in your hand. The paddles are awesome when you're trying to fill a lot of color. You know, the green brushes are great because, you know, you can do your detail work in there and work tight. But, you know, you're talking like a wall is, it could be, you know, I painted walls that are 100 feet long to, you know, 20 feet high. It just, you need your big range of brush, and this range is giving you that.
Ah, they're beautiful. Oh man, the brushes that we used today, it was great. I've never used brushes for walls that were so fluid. Like the lines you can get with some of these brushes, and just, I mean, the shapes of them are even like revolutionary. Like, you wouldn't think like these are brushes for murals or to do art with. They look, when I first saw them, like, these are like house painter brushes, but they're so, oh, I can't even describe how they just flow. So the paint just took to the wall so well. I mean, like, I worked for the mural arts program in Philadelphia, and some of the brushes we use on murals are just beat up, you know, because walls take a heavy toll on brushes. And with these brushes, it's just, oh man, the line work you can get with them. It's like almost using like a thin cap on a spray can, like one shot, boom. You got a solid line. Yeah, it's something definitely I would love to use in the future, definitely.
The brushes? Oh, the brushes are crazy. I love the splatter brush. That's my favorite thing. Just to think that they had enough sense to make a brush for throwing paint. I mean, that's me right there. And I love like the big brushes and like a lot of the different things you could tell, and you know, just the way that they feel in your hand, it's just like made to do what we do. And you know, it's great that, you know, they've been doing that with spray paint for a long time. Like the European paints have made paint like with the artist in mind, and it's good that somebody's doing that for traditional mural painting.
Because I had to talk about the times when I rhyme and when the MCs come in my face, I'm like Mace. Cause I back them off with the quills. Cause I had to tell you, nigga, cause I keep it under frills. Rest of 191 16th Ave off of Farmers Boulevard.
But I'm from Manhattan, MCA's from